Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. If you're loving what you're hearing on the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, go out and tell 2 friends today. Show them how easy it is to subscribe to the show. The Real Estate Espresso Podcast is available on more than 20 different platforms. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you're sure to find the Real Estate Espresso Podcast. Go spread the love around. Why keep all this goodness to yourself? On today's show, we're talking about one of the most perplexing times I've ever seen. We're talking about how in the middle of an economic downturn, some indicators suggest a red-hot market. Restaurants, construction companies, and do-it-yourselfers have driven demand for lumber. Plywood prices are hitting record highs as various sectors of the economy are responding to the pandemic. Restaurants and bars are buying wood to build makeshift outdoor seating options. In many parts of the country, including New York City, outdoor dining is permitted, but indoor operations are still closed. Additionally, home builders are purchasing large amounts of wood as they respond to rising demand for new homes. Low mortgage rates and a desire to be able to social distance in a single-family home has led to an increase in construction. In addition, people stuck at home this summer are working on home improvement projects, and they're flocking to stores like Home Depot and Lowe's. Lumber futures have risen over 85% since April the 1st. And July futures hit $499 per thousand board feet last week. September futures reached $481.90. Lumber futures rarely trade higher than $450, and before the pandemic, the record for lumber futures was $463, which was set back in 2006 during the home construction boom. Lumber supply companies like Georgia Pacific have seen their shares rise during the booming demand for lumber since June. In March, as the shutdowns hit the U.S., wood prices tumbled and shares of the companies like Georgia Pacific fell nearly 40%. Home sales slowed, as did construction. And in response, many mills scaled back production, and now those trends have reversed. The mills are doing their best to keep up as construction companies, restaurants, and individuals are buying lumber in record numbers. Georgia Pacific shares are up 50% in the last month alone. Companies that make chemicals that treat wood like koppers have also seen demand for their services skyrocket. Koppers reported that orders from some of its large customers have gone up by 40% this summer. Normally, in a successful year, orders might go up by 5 or 6%. Mills, chemical companies, and home improvement stores are all trying to predict if this rise in demand for lumber will be long-lasting or is it just a short-term spike. Changes in economic conditions, in COVID-19 cases, and the transition from summer to fall will all likely have an impact on lumber demand. All of this points to strong demand, and these statistics mirror my own first-hand experience. Last month, I purchased a small quantity of cedar lumber to purchase some planter boxes for my wife. All of the major suppliers of cedar lumber were out of stock with no forecast for new inventory. I was eventually able to buy what I needed, but it took several attempts to source the materials. This is also being mirrored in construction quotes that we're getting for our current projects. I'm also seeing significant shortages in construction labor. If the project is small, consisting of a half-day's work, finding labor is relatively easy. The weekend warriors who have full-time work will often moonlight on small jobs. But if you have a significant job, be prepared to schedule the job several months out from now. Other factors that can drive a spike in lumber prices include summer storms. In past years, we've seen a significant jump in prices following a major hurricane. We're just at the start of hurricane season, and we have yet to experience any major storms making landfall in North America. It could be that we have a lighter than average hurricane season, but it's too early to tell. It's conceivable that we have some weather events at the same time as we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. And the demand for detached housing seems to be stronger than ever in many parts of the country. We've seen a big drop in demand for high-end rental apartments in the most expensive cities like New York, San Francisco, Miami, and Seattle. But in the middle of the country and in suburban areas, we're seeing huge increases in demand. So if you only look at the construction metrics in the economy, you would think we're in the middle of an economic boom. There's no signs of 11% unemployment or of distressed properties hitting the market. There's over 4.5 million properties in default on their mortgage in the U.S. There's likely a similar number of rental units with tenants in default on their leases. But because there's a freeze on evictions and foreclosures, we won't know the real statistics for many more months. It's hard to make sense out of this economy. If you're sitting on a construction quote that's more than 30 days old, chances are high you'll need to get a new bid for your job. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.